Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the tournament. We are just waiting on my co-hosts, Glenn and Merchant and Tyflick, who will be joining us later. I just thought I'd say hi to everyone, really, and see how everyone is. We are looking forward to the tournament tonight. If you do have any questions at all for Mod Merchant, or of course for Glenn, do feel free to drop that into the chat or drop that into the drop that via Twitch with the hashtag Chronicle tournament, capital C, capital T. Well, it doesn't have to be capitals, but whatever you really want to do. Hopefully everyone is doing well. What is everyone up to today? Who is everyone thinking is going to win? What games is everyone looking forward to, etc, etc, etc. So I'll talk to you a little bit through where this is going to go after the tournament ends. We're looking at doing weekly podcasts, me and Glenn, maybe Tyflick as well, he'll be a regular host, and Bundy as well, which is cool. But yeah, we are just waiting on Glenn, who hopefully will join us very, very soon indeed, and obviously Mod Merchant as well. If we do see the sort of play we had yesterday, in terms of the games themselves were really, really diverse, really, really interesting to see, and every day has improved so much in terms of gameplay, so much in terms of interest to the tournament. But yeah, it will be really, really good to do. I believe Merchant is very, very soon going to be with us. Then we are obviously just waiting on Glenn as well. I believe he was caught up in something, which is fine. I mean, just to talk a little bit about a few of the... We are lagging a little bit, which I've just realised. Just to talk a few sort of moments so far that we've seen, which have been amazing. In terms of... just sheer amazingly good gameplay. Obviously yesterday was full of them. The first day specifically as well with Merchant's play with those Viragos, winning both games second round. That was pretty awesome to see. I'm not sure we'll be seeing that again today. Who knows? Maybe it will come out. But as we can see from the votes, it is pretty close. It's pretty close. We got Wolf with 4 votes at the moment. Which is pretty awesome. He is leading the way with Crick and Glenn obviously bringing up the rear, and fortunately YX flagging behind a little bit. But it is anyone's game. It really is. Anyone could win that. Anyone could win this tournament. It is such a close knit game at the top. Looking into how the tournament has run so far, though, I mean, Injection has done such a good job in what he's been doing and how he's been running it. Which is epic. He's been running it really, really well. He's done such a beautiful job in terms of the transitions, in terms of the overlays, in terms of the gameplay, in terms of organising the casters. Him and Tyflicky as a team were amazing. Welcome free, by the way. Hopefully you are doing well. As I say, we are waiting on our co-casters right now. Yeah, does anyone have any questions in the chat before we start, obviously? I mean, as I've said before, me and Glenn are looking at doing weekly podcasts, probably on a Saturday, which will be uploaded to YouTube. Mainly casting from this channel, maybe from his channel, we're not sure yet. We haven't really discussed those parameters so far. It will be awesome to see that. It will be really awesome to do. We'll be talking about updates, we'll be talking to players, we'll hopefully be getting interviews, we'll be doing as much as we can to talk to the community and work that one out as much as possible. I mean, this game itself has proven itself to be such a community-driven game, such a community, just mentally organised in terms of organising themselves with this tournament, supportive over everything that happens. They're supportive with Twitch streams, they're supportive with as much as they can be. But yeah, so we are down. Hey, what's up there, Hanio? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you are doing well. Glenn has joined us. I'm not sure if he's still muted or not. If you are unmuted, hello Glenn, how are you doing?
Hello.
Hopefully life is going well, my man.
Yeah, not so bad.
Good to hear. We are going to be joined by Mod Merchant imminently, hopefully. He was just asking when to join. So yeah, how has your day been, man?
Not so bad. Been trying to come up with some new deck lists, see if I can create something different.
Nice.
I've built an attack build Ariane that's a similar kind of style as the Darkstrike Raptor, And
Okay.
it's 1-on-1 against Wolf using his Darkstrike Raptor, so it's not too bad.
So it proves itself to be as good as the Darkstrike Raptor, but I'm guessing in different ways, and as it's an Ariana deck, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a similar build, but obviously it can't use the Ice Niles, so the Ariane twist on it is the Zamorakin Occultist.
Ooh, I like that idea.
And you can play some mind games once you've got the Asphyxiates in your hand.
I mean, I would say this game, if nothing else is proven, mind games are so important. I mean, it is almost like poker, like we were saying yesterday. The poker face is a mind game equivalent. You know, it's all about the hands that you have, but trying to hide those from your opponent and really trying to surprise them in the end. You know,
massively. One of the decks you can especially play like that is the book deck that Freeb has made famous. If you can get all those spells in your hand, and you can almost scare your opponent into not playing anything for an entire chapter, and then you can save them until you can really do some damage.
So basically, all you're doing is preempting the fact they can't play anything, and you're still building up massive hits anyway. So even if they do play anything, you're still going to hit really, really well. Okay, that's pretty insane. Okay, so I suppose we should recap a little bit on the tournament so far as a whole. We did do a little bit of that postcast yesterday, but I mean, in terms of talking to the players, because I mean, we have been talking to the players a little bit today, a few here and there. So I mean, what have you learnt from the players rather than the games themselves? How have you found, as a player yourself, obviously, how have you found the competition in terms of, you know, the rivalries? Obviously friendly rivalries, but rivalries themselves, you know.
It's been tough. There's been no easy games whatsoever, and I think there's been 12 games so far, and 9 of them have gone to a decider. Yeah, exactly. So that just shows how tight the competition is.
I mean, percentage-wise, 33%, 75%, 75%, yeah.
So yeah, and we saw some of the players last night were ridiculous.
It's just
the standard of Chronicle was so high.
I mean, to be honest, it's one of those things that, as we were saying last night, it's so hard to call. It's so hard to call any of those games last night. I mean, most of those games were probably 50-50 on who was going to win. From the viewers, at least, anyway, and it was proven in the games as well. You know, half the time we were thinking it's going to be one player, and then suddenly it's turned around straight away. Really quickly, how are you doing there? Your Simple Batico, I believe it was your first stream in the Chronicle category today, maybe your first stream overall. If anyone does want to drop her a follow, please do. Obviously, we try and support the Twitch community as much as possible. She's a brilliant streamer, and I believe the second female streamer in the category. So, hey.
Yeah. There's a few starting up now.
Yeah. It's the females are showing themselves, which sounded creepier than I meant it to. Wow, this is where I'm alone for the rest of my life. Still no Ariana. I need to get that sorted like right now. To be fair, yes.
Yeah, you've got to get Ariane in there.
I've got to get Ariane in there. Okay. What I will do then, we might get a little bit of lag because I've got to open up Photoshop, but we can still talk. We can still girl power, of course, girl power. I'm actually going to mod you up there. But yeah. So, what are your predictions for today? We did talk a little bit about predictions. As a player, obviously, I won't be asking you about wins. Who you think is going to win? But what are your predictions for sort of gameplay style? Will it be a very aggressive rounds, or do you reckon it will be a good mix like it has been before?
Well, we saw yesterday the aggressive games. Oh, I think hello, Merchant.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. How are you, gentlemen?
Very well.
Not so bad. Not so bad.
We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, the voice. Welcome, my man. Just obviously a quick introduction. If anyone doesn't know you, where have you been? But this is Merchant, and he will tell you a little bit about himself, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah, so hello to anybody who's unfamiliar with me. My name is Mod Merchant. I'm the community manager for RuneScape Chronicle, and I was very kindly invited on to have a chat and cast some of the games that you're going to be seeing tonight, which will be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
How have you found the tournament so far? Has there been any moments particularly that have caught your eye? Or obviously there is so many moments to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, as strange an answer as this, the thing that really caught my eye, honestly, is, like, just this whole thing happening. Like, we're so young into open beta that actually seeing people already taking the initiative to set up tournaments and stuff like this, and even having, like, a pre-tournament talk show like this, is, quite frankly, just incredible. Like, it's awesome to see.
I mean, this game is perfect for that sort of thing, which we have seen. I mean, pre-tournament, obviously, it could have. I mean, with the game itself, we have seen tournaments of similar games in the past. Not similar, obviously, in terms of gameplay. I'm going to get so much abuse for that use of wording there in the chat. But in terms of CGCs themselves, we have seen so many tournaments in the past, and all this game has proven again and again is it's perfect for this sort of setup. It's perfect for casual game. It's perfect for tournament. It's perfect for ranked. It's perfect for any situation you want to be in, and
absolutely.
Just fair play to you, man, and your team.
The main thing yesterday was just the one thing I picked up from being in the Discord while a lot of the games were going on was how into it everyone got. I mean, the game between YX and Sockham, when he pulled out the borrowed power on the Virago weapon and that won him the game, everyone was going absolutely mental.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be amazing to see that reaction. It was...
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game, especially, like, I feel like since we put the card reveals in, so for anybody who's new to Chronicle, maybe, it actually used to be that you could see all of your opponent's cards as soon as the chapter started, and we only just put in the like, turning round slot-to-slot thing, which I just think makes it just, like, to be blunt, like, fucking intense, like, slot-to-slot, which is exactly what we wanted to go for. It's fantastic.
That's the best change you guys could have done.
Yeah, it is. It's probably, like... There is a list of them, but in terms of single changes, it's got to be one of my favorite things we've ever done.
I mean, it's definitely been received well by everyone who's sort of been playing the game. You do hear it from a lot of the players, especially in Discord, sort of saying it's just perfect. And the fact is as well, it just adds more to that strategy play. It adds more to the suspense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much. So how do you think personally, and obviously as a company as well? God, it sounded like you were the company yourself, which pretty much is not true. Obviously, it's such a big team.
No, it's certainly not true. No, there's an incredible team of people who are far more talented than me. I'm working on Chronicle.
You heard it
implies that I'm
first.
talented in the slightest.
I think to be honest, everyone in this chat would disagree with that totally. You are a very, very talented man. Especially even just the voice. I mean. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it just carries me. I don't actually do anything. I just say things.
It's the only reason he's there, to be honest. I'm kidding, of course. I think one of the questions I wanted to ask personally was just how will this tournament, if in any way, affect updates that are coming soon, and or obviously updates that are coming after? In terms of, has it changed any? Card changes? Has it changed any ideas for the actual structure of leveling, ranking, or development, progression itself? Has it changed anything about that, or is it?
I think like development wise, that we have a lot of set things that we're working on at the moment. One thing that I think like stuff like this has definitely impacted, and it actually happened a long time ago, back when Zalx did the original sign-up tournament. I think it's really made us realize, like, basically take a step back, have a look, and go, oh shit, like, this is a thing. Like, people are gonna want to play this competitively, and so we are absolutely focused on, like, bringing that as much as possible, which is, of course, a huge part of my job. Like, I'm absolutely dedicated to, like, basically supporting people doing this as much as I can. I'm actually working with Zalx in the next coming days to open up the sign-ups for the next Chronicle Community Cup, which is going to be a lot of fun. And we are going to support that as much as we can. I even mentioned one thing that I'm really going to be campaigning to do is I want to actually host the finals in the office, get people in and stuff. I mean, so
that would be beautiful.
I hope that we get some really cool stuff going.
Definitely. I mean, I just think it's such a beautiful thing that the community has come together so quickly as well, even with the previous tournament in closed beta, and just gone, we want to do this, we're going to do this, and it's been done in a way that is, I mean, you would watch that tournament and you think, especially the way Interjection's done it, and Tyflicky, obviously, it looks so professional. You wouldn't think it was a, you wouldn't think it was a community cup, really. Not against community cups, obviously. So I believe we've had one or two questions in the chat. Mainly, I think it's just about the ant screen in the corner. The only reason there's gameplay in the corner is because Twitch has a habit of banning or temporarily timing out streams if there isn't any gameplay in it. I'd put that in there just to be safe, and it also means that more people are going to be directed to it who are playing Chronicle. It just means more
we
people
have got
can be
like
involved.
we have got like Alicia Cam on at the moment.
Yeah, I do feel I do feel I am gonna. Cheers for mentioning that. I was trying not to mention that name, but
I know.
I have just my Twitter is just going to be abuse now. Actually, if anyone even bothers to tweet me. So how have you been? I'm guessing you've been watching most of the tournament.
I've been watching bits and pieces where I can. Unfortunately, I've been out and about quite a lot this weekend. But yeah, I've seen little bits of it, and it's been fantastic so far.
Oh, excellent! It's good to hear. I mean, it's interesting to see. Me and Glenn were saying just before you came on. It's really interesting to see the decks that are being played are so different to what everyone expected to be played. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not your OP decks in a traditional sense. They're still, obviously very awesome decks, but they're not what you expect to see really.
The main thing
and I think that's I think that's something that comes with CCG tournaments in general. I mean, people definitely learn quite quickly that there's a difference between a top tier ladder deck and a top tier tournament deck. Because essentially, when you're playing on the ladder, you want something that's going to smash out like that 55-60% win rate. When you're playing in a tournament, you want well-defined strategies that essentially aren't going to be predicted by your opponent. It's a very different environment for deck building. So it can be quite interesting. I mean, it's something that I've seen, playing Magic and stuff for a very long time, is the decks that people show up day to day on like Friday nights or anything, they're not their tournament decks. Like, people keep things up their sleeves massively, and it works out. It really does work out.
Well, we saw it in the first round when Cricky pulled out an Ozan deck, and everyone was expecting this face aggro Ozan deck that's all over the ladder. And then all of a sudden it's got heals, it's got attack build, it's got Virago. It's like, where has this come from? And he just completely surprised his opponent.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you do tend to see some absolutely fantastic things in tournaments, which is what makes them so exciting. And one of the things that I find really interesting is to then see how those like really unique, really like what the fuck moments boil down and actually affect the ladder after the tournament. I think that's really like quite an interesting thing to see.
Okay, that's understandable. Glenn, do you mind moving Bondi down really quickly?
Yeah.
Sweet. I mean, I think it's really interesting as well. While the tournament is happening, that the new players are coming in and they don't feel like they're left out. They can watch the games, and if with a little bit of help, obviously from the casters and from playing themselves, they're not feeling like they're left out. The play itself isn't so far gone from entry level play that they feel like they just can't follow it. And I think that's such a good thing, and it's testament to the game in a way of how accessible it is for anyone to play.
Yeah, I think it's one of our advantages in having very clearly defined mechanics. It actually just then makes it all about the depth of play and strategy rather than what the fuck did that card do? I missed it. Blah blah blah. It actually makes it about like, wow, I'd never thought about using that in that way. I do think we definitely have an edge in that respect, where like you say, you can relate to the game at all levels, which is interesting.
Exactly. Just a quick hi to Bundy, who is joining us today. He is one of the casters tonight.
Hello. I'll be casting the first game with Mod Merchant.
You certainly will be. Buddy, I don't think we've had the pleasure of speaking before.
Me? Like we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either, so...
There you go,
hello,
first time Duocast. Hello, Bundy.
It took me some time to get here.
Oh,
for some reasons.
No worries, man. No,
But
was the
we got
traffic
it
bad?
sorted now.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, the traffic.
As I say, if anyone does have questions, do if you tag me in the questions, it will be a lot easier to see in chat. Obviously, the stream isn't moving that fast, but I am not used to more than 8 or 9 viewers, so for me, this is a bit overwhelming. Just a real quick point as well to the chat. If you do vote in a straw poll, if you type voting, I believe, into chat, it will come up with the straw poll, and that is the predictions for the winner. We will be able to update. We will be able to update the rest of the for the rest of the stream with those results as they are on screen, and you will be able to see them. Obviously, well, not obviously, but as you can see, Wolf is in
I think
the lead.
you lied to me. How do I open the straw poll? This is difficult.
I know
Guys, I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
Oh my god!
It's almost like this wasn't planned. No, it's there's no exclamation mark in it, so it's just voting.
Oh, okay. That's clear.
There we go.
Boom. Awesome. Let's do it. There it is.
I feel
Do I
quite.
need an adult? Yes, I do.
I mean, to be honest,
I
much.
don't know who to vote for, because let's be honest, it's not going to be Glenn.
No, I mean,
Come on!
We've all seen how that goes. Sorry, Glenn, you're a nice person.
Hang on. In my defence, who else has got to 2 semi-finals?
I can think of 4 reasons why you won't win, and 0 reasons why you will. So,
yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for Wolf. Like, I think I've seen this guy play Chronicle in person. He's an extremely talented player. Of course, all 4 of these players, even Glenn, are very, very talented. So I'm gonna go for Wolf. Like, I think he's gonna win. To be blunt, he's a fantastic player. But like I say, any of these could win it. So
it's a very
interesting.
Good, very
Yeah,
good.
from yesterday, to be honest, in the top half of the draw, I honestly had Unforgiven beating Crick and Socken beating YX, so it shows how much I know.
No, I honestly, I think that's 2 calls that I potentially would have made as well. I mean, I haven't seen too much of Crick as a player. I've seen a little bit of YX. I've played YX many times. I know that they're very, very good. But, like, yeah, you would not expect Unforgiven to go out, to be blunt. I mean, if you showed me them all from the beginning and said pick a winner, I would have went with either Unforgiven or Wolf.
Yeah.
So
I am actually going with Creaky to win the tournament.
yeah,
He showed a really good performance against Unforgiven in very close games, and just pulled through and performed really good and showed that he can do it. And if he's able to kick out Unforgiven, I think he might even be able to win against Wolf if he makes it to the grand final. It's just this tournament features so many high quality players with really
absolutely.
good skill and really good and refined decks. That
Yeah, I mean, we say that,
it's
but
really
realistically,
hard to-
like rounds before this, there were many, many players who could have walked away with this.
Oh, of course.
definitely.
I mean, we were saying yesterday. To be honest, it could have been the complete opposite in terms of wins and losses for most of those games. There, it was literally down to the day and down to the game itself. The players themselves could have interchanged very easily indeed. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked slightly by the chat there. I'm eating pizza like a true fat American / Canadian.
How can you be an American/Canadian?
I don't
That's
know.
the question.
My mind does not extend beyond one nationality, but there we go. That sounded no. Hang on. Hang on.
I think you might want to rephrase that.
Right, I'm going to be getting a knock at the door in a moment.
Before the what is deleted.
Oh god, yeah, I'm going to be getting banned imminently. Well, I mean, just to quickly, just a bit of backstory, if that's all right, Merchant, on the game itself. Would it be cool if you talked us through a little bit about the development? Because obviously, the development's been going on for 3 or more years now.
2 years now. 2 years.
Where did it all start? Where was it? I mean, it's probably been explained on Vlog.
So this is actually this was far before my time, but it's a really fascinating story. It actually was born pretty much on a series of post-it notes drawn in the Jagex cantina, I believe. Because essentially, so we've got a lot of like everybody on the team is a card game fan. Like we all enjoy them, and so naturally we played a lot of games like Dominion, like Munchkin, obviously Magic the Gathering, games like that. And I think a lot of people basically just sat down and were like, "Look, we all make games. Like we all make games. No matter what your role is in the team, everybody contributes to the overall direction of the game." And so they all went, let's make a game. We want to make a game where you can create your own adventure. Like we all love those books from the 90s and the 80s, where it said like go to page 212 if you want to jump down the massive hole, stuff like that.
The Goosebump, choose your scare.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
so
have to
what
be
they
a
did is they
certain
sat down, they went, okay, we want to make a choose your own adventure game. What is the best medium in which we can do that? And then they all thought, well, we all love Dominion, especially like we have a tower of Dominion books. Like Dominion Tower Kappa.
I am jealous of that.
And it is amazing. Tower of Dominion board games is fantastic. And they just said cards are the best medium, and it's slowly evolved. Like, if you go onto Jagex Fox's Twitter, twitter.com/Jagex Fox, there is recently he did an amazing telling of Chronicle's story. It was when we went to open beta, so you will have to maybe scroll back a little bit, but it is well worth doing. It is, honestly, I've worked on the game, for how long have I been there? I've been there for like 10.5 months.
Okay.
And I was sitting reading it all, just like absolutely mind blown. Oh yeah, if you go on his Twitter, it's pretty much from the top.
Oh, excellent.
And there's an entire story of the game there that will let you basically see all of our history. It's really, really interesting.
That's really, really interesting to hear, because I mean, I think people probably just without knowing the history of it would have thought, oh, you know, Hearthstone is such a big game at the moment, people are following suit.
Yeah.
But I mean, as people have mentioned, as we've mentioned in these broadcasts already, it's people who haven't played Chronicle are the ones that think it's very much like Hearthstone. But of course, with CGCs, there is always going to be a baseline of similarity, just because it's then recognisable as a card game.
At the end of the day, it has cards in.
Yeah,
cards have stats. Like, that's how CCGs have worked like that since the dawn of time.
By which I mean
about 1991 when Magic came out. But like, it's
beautiful.
It's
game.
not like it's not like a crazy thing. The Hearthstone comments are interesting, because part of me goes, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then the other part of me goes, okay, I can see why you'd say that. They're both digital card games. This is very much so like the era in which Hearthstone is really exploding, and they're doing fantastically. And the thing that I always find funny is that people expect me to like recoil and like shudder, and sort of hiss at them. And I just think they're like, no, Hearthstone's a great game,
exactly,
but it's nothing like Chronicle.
No, exactly. If people think it's like
it's got cards in,
exactly, and if people think it's like, sorry, Bundy.
The only thing those have in similar is that both cards have an interface that resolves around a book.
Yeah. Well, actually,
that's the only thing the games have in common.
That's the thing. That's a common misconception, and I love pointing this out to people. Hearthstone is actually in a box, not a book. There you go. Yeah.
So all of you Hearthstone,
well, basically,
people.
It's in an inn and not in a box.
Oh, this is turning into a riddle. I think we could probably come up.
It's one of those things where like one of the nice things is that people say that, and I kind of let them, and I go, yeah, whatever. And then they play the game, and then they immediately come back, and they're just like, oh, this is nothing like Hearthstone. And it's like, well, yeah, there you go.
In a way, it's almost.
I come from a Hearthstone background, and I immediately fell in love with the game for the reason that it's so different to Hearthstone, but feels like a good CCG.
But in a way,
I mean,
right into and started grinding and started building decks. And
one of the really interesting things is people always say to me like, "Do you play Hearthstone?" And it's like, "Yeah, of course I do. Like, I play like most card games under the sun. Like, I've been very, very high rank on Hearthstone. It's a great game, but it's just totally different. Like, the reason why Chronicle, it takes a lot for something to like wow me in terms of CCGs these days. And when I was offered to work on Chronicle, I took a look at it and I was just like, I've never seen this before. This is amazing. It's like Munchkin on steroids. It's fantastic. And so it's something that I've never seen before in a CCG, and it's just so unique. It's fantastic.
I think it's perfect.
It's a really fitting analogy.
Exactly, and I think it's perfect as well in a sense. When people do say, as you said before, it's like, oh, it's very much like Hearthstone. It's pretty much the same as saying to your girlfriend, you're exactly like Cameron Diaz. I mean, it's in a sense it's a compliment, but it's not strictly true. It's exactly like it, but you're not going to turn away and go, no, I don't look nothing like Cameron Diaz, because obviously,
it's like going up to somebody playing Halo and going, is this Call of Duty? Like, it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
But like, I can see why
they are the same game.
We could be talking for years about this.
Right, when it comes to Halo, chat shit, get hit is my philosophy.
I like that. It sounds like a chat up line for a gamer. That's amazing. Okay.
I mean, with this Trump streaming it last week, the main thing that I've seen from that on these, because he's posted 2 YouTube videos now, is most of the comments on there.
I know what you
I was expecting them to be really anti the upload and whatever, but they're actually really positive, and there's lots of people
comments on the second part.
Yeah.
All of the top comments are, can you do more of this after the
promotion? Exactly, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, it's really good as well in terms of in terms of Trump stream, because I was expecting it to drop, the viewers to drop massively. They dropped a little bit, obviously, because it wasn't a Hearthstone, but it was consistent.
Yeah, of course, it's not its regular game.
Exactly, and it was consistent for so long. It was amazing to see.
The chat loved the game. It was pure nostalgia for most of them.
No, exactly, and I think that's...
it was amazing. Like, I just like, honestly, because obviously a big part of my job is I monitor stuff like that very closely, and honestly, I'm on the Trump video now, and the top comment is, I kind of want to see more of this game after the promotion's over. Like,
damn,
seeing that on Trump's channel just means the absolute world to us. Like,
I bet
it's honestly incredible, and all of the top comments are similar.
They're going to be the ultimate Hearthstone fanboys on there, to be honest. So
I love the person in the chat who said, "Please get Brian Kibler." Wow, I messed up. Please get Brian Kibler. I will strive my very hardest for that to be a thing because I love Brian Kibler. He's
That would be
fantastic.
amazing. That would be genuinely
Oh
amazing.
my god, Kibler would be.
I will strive to try and get Kibler to play the game because he is a wonderful person. I think he'd really like it as well.
If we all chip a fiver in, I'm sure it's possible. That's how it works, isn't it? So in terms of the tournament itself, how do you think it's going to affect the player base? Because obviously there will be an increase in the player base because a lot of people have been watching the tournament and enjoying the tournament and logging in because of that. But do you think people are going to get turned away because of the high quality of the games, or do you think they're just going to think,
No, not at all. You don't watch a game of like football, do you? And go, oh, these guys are too good. I never feel like playing football again.
No,
like,
it's a very good point.
I think it's anything, it's the opposite effect. I think people look at it and go, this game's new. I've got a chance to get my foot in the door before everyone else has. Actually, there's no reason why I couldn't be one of these top players, and that's what we've seen. Like, you look at, especially in case of like Wolf and Glenn and YX, like these are guys who've been here since day one. Like that's the reason they're in the finals of this tournament.
It's a very, very good call.
Yeah, I tried to start Hearthstone probably about 6 months ago, and it's impossible unless you sink a load of money in the game. Whereas with this, I think DJ Mindis is in the top 10 on gold, and he's still free to play. So it just proves you can be right at the very top, and
such
as a free to
good
player.
achievement.
Well, in terms of the free-to-play build, I mean, it's a lot easier to progress in the free-to-play build than a lot of other games, and it's as rewarding because, as we've said so many times, the cards themselves don't necessarily make the game. It's all about strategy. You could have a starter deck for Ariana, and we've seen people do it. Make it very high in your division.
That starter deck for Ariana is very nice, though.
It is a beautiful starter deck, I've got to say. So can you tell us? Is there any? I'm guessing no sneak peeks, but could you maybe take us through a little bit the updates coming in the next couple of weeks, because there are a fair few coming out, aren't there?
Yes, there are. So this week, let's have a think. This week we will have the first old school cards go into the game. I believe there are 11 old school cards going in the game. This week there will also be a enormous batch of bug fixes. Huge quality of life updates across the board, which I will go into further detail on at some point. There's also going to be some balancing changes. We'll see Ogre Brute get changed entirely. There's a lot of stuff going in this week. I mean, the old school cards, I guess, are the big content batch, sort of, which are going to be very interesting. I'm very, very excited for Zulrah. It's insane.
I am very much looking forward to seeing that being played. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be crazy.
There are some very strong cards coming in. I'm looking forward to using a few of them.
I think it's gonna create so many more decks as well, because people are going to be building decks around these cards. Obviously, I mean it'd be silly not to sometimes, and it's just gonna. I reckon it's probably gonna add a third to the amount of people who are playing different heroes as well. In terms of, because at the moment, obviously in the ladder, there is a lot of people playing certain heroes. For the simple reason of gaining rank to get to prestige, because certain heroes are better than other heroes. Not better than other heroes, but there are more decks out that are a lot more OP at the lower levels of the ladder. But
of course,
I think with these new cards coming in, people will be able to play a lot more different heroes and be able to sort of really work around these decks that are here as the strong decks, for the simple reason that they are game-changing cards. And I just can't wait to see it, because it's for the first day after release. I think ranked and the ladder are just going to be miffed completely of what to expect to come out. It's going to be beautiful to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. I mean, does anyone else want to pick up? Does anyone else who's in the channel have anything to ask at this point?
Are there any more surprises coming with regard to potential streamers or videos, etc., that you can tease?
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's,
I heard that
I hate it when you
guy's
do
going to be
that.
streaming a lot.
Hey, buddy, how are you doing? God, talk about it.
Looking forward to that guy streaming. It's going to be great.
I've heard he's not so good. Talk about a segue.
Unfollowed.
Welcome. How you doing, my man?
I'm good.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. I mean, are we going to get these teasers, or are we going to have to wait on this? This is the question.
Looks like we're waiting.
I will say this is. I know this. Like, obviously, I can't reveal details and stuff because there's a whole like legal minefield there with contracts and stuff. But
of course.
one thing I can say is more. I'm not going to say some. A lot more Hearthstone players and otherwise players of games that you will recognize will be making videos and playing the game.
Ah, okay. That's extremely interesting.
Many along the same scale as Trump.
Ooh.
Nice.
That would be very, very nice to see indeed. So, really quickly, as Interjection has just joined us, how are you doing, my man? Would you like to introduce yourself? Obviously, everyone will know you, but yeah. Give a little shout out to
I'm
yourself.
Interjection. Been casting, I think I've been involved in every cast so far for the tournament that we're talking about, or have been talking about. I run a stream and a YouTube channel, and that's all about me.
And what is that YouTube channel / Twitch channel, if you would like to give us that one?
The YouTube channel for my Age of Empires one is no, it's not. It's youtube.com/interjection videos. The Chronicle one's a bit more complicated because I haven't set a custom URL for that, and I have no idea what it is. But if you're watching the stream later on, twitch.tv/interjection videos, of course, all the highlights and all of the recorded games will be on that channel, on my YouTube channel, which is available.
Are we doing the sellout?
Well, if you want to sell out as well.
He told me we are doing full sellout. Yeah, okay. Full sellout mode initiated.
I
advise you guys to watch the rebroadcast because Interjection edits them in a really funny way and puts in funny sound bits and cuts it down to the minimum. So
yeah, the rebroadcast is actually happening now, but I would encourage you to hear.
Oh, thank you. Someone has just followed.
You missed the games, of course, not right now.
Day 3 is now being rebroadcast, so yesterday's games, and when that is time to finish, exactly when the tournament starts. So.
Oh, awesome. So if anyone does want
I'm
to
going to get some dinner, though, so I'm sorry I can't stay.
That's alright, no worries.
Have a good one, Interjection.
Yeah, good luck tonight, mate.
Comes in, sells out, and then leaves.
We know how it is. It's really weird. I've got an alert going off and it's not showing. Someone is either following or hosting or something. Thank you for doing that. I'm probably going to have to turn those alerts off though because I now can't hear a single thing. And it's going off again. I am going to really have to turn those off.
Oh yeah, your follower alert's insane. I heard it the other day.
Yeah, it's a bit too much. So I'm just going to quickly get that sorted now, guys. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about just what are we expecting from tonight in terms of the two finalists? Maybe I know Glenn's in here, which is a real problem if we don't say Glenn. But as we've already ridiculed him beyond the compare, I think we'll be alright.
So okay, do a match. Who's the first match?
I had a list of this.
Cricky against YX.
Okay.
First match is gonna be Cricky versus YX, casted by myself and the wonderful Mod Merchant.
That's going to be a fun one. That should be interesting.
What are you expecting from that match?
I don't know Cricky particularly as a player, but I do know YX is very, very good. So I'm going to have to back YX purely because of the amount of times that we've savaged each other on the ladder.
Fair enough.
I'm purely going to go by ranked here. I have a higher win rate against YX than against Cricky, and I've faced both a lot lately. So Cricky's going to take it.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, do you reckon there'll be any surprises from that match, or in terms of cards played, in terms of decks played? Obviously, we have seen their style.
I'm looking forward to see how Cricky gets his Ozan deck going.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to more of the Ozan deck.
He's got a few surprises in there.
Excellent. And moving on to the second game, which you have there, I believe, Glenn.
I'm going to win 3-0.
Wolf versus Glenn. I mean... Well, I personally think it's going to be a 2-1, but I'm not sure which way I want to swing it.
It's best of 5.
Oh, sorry, that's a very good point. Probably a 4-1 or 3-2. I definitely think I wouldn't want to say which way that was swinging though, to be honest, for the simple reason. I'm going
to say 3-0 Wolf.
Yeah, I knew you would.
I honestly, I think that could be closer. Then I think I don't know because I have backed Wolf as the overall winner, so naturally that does mean that Glenn has to get beaten by him. I'd go like 3-2 Wolf.
Okay, that's fair.
Sorry, Glenn.
Fair. Yeah, no problem.
I don't know. I think the end score will be 3-2 or 4-1, but I wouldn't want to call which way because I actually don't know which way that one's going to go. Obviously, none
then
of us
we'll break the format and somehow manage to get 4-0'd.
It will happen. Of course, it will happen. I think we'll just put an extra game in at the end just in case.
Yeah.
So
Best of 6.
So I mean, I think it will. It's going to be
No, if I'm
interesting.
3-0 down, I am not playing another game.
I've had enough of this.
the 4-0 honor match.
Not even if it saves your honor.
I reckon we should hear the story about this. I mean, it's got to be told for people who don't.
Robbie, you won't know it. So basically, in the first Community Cup, like, it was an excellent tournament, built up to a really dramatic final, which was Interjection versus Glenn. And then Glenn got savaged 4-0. and we all enjoy reminding him of it a lot. To be fair, 4-0 sounds a lot worse than it actually was. There are actually some really close matches, but it's just funny. It's funny to take the piss out of him. So
I mean, that's the only reason I invited him in. Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason he's in this.
What really annoyed me that game? I was 3-0 down, and then just to rub it in, he double metals hard me.
I swear you were going to say rub it here. I was wondering where you were going with that. That was quite worrying, to be fair.
So yeah, he completely screwed me over.
Definitely.
Don't you like some cabbage stew, Glenn?
Oh dear. I mean, to be fair, Glenn is, he doesn't like you saying 4-0. So every opportunity.
No, I've decided to embrace it now.
That's fair enough. He says that he's having a quiet cry. So the third match is Glenn. You have the list. I don't, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to take this one.
Oh no,
The
there's
third
two
match is-
semi-finals, and then it's. The
Oh,
final.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That was again. I'm not really with it today. So the finals. What do we expect? How do you expect people to play the finals? Whoever's in the final, will they change game up in terms of would it be playing more? Will they be trying to play more hard-hitting face decks or face style aggression?
I think what you tend to see in finals is, especially in the first games, you tend to see people basically try to get a quick one on the board. So I expect to see some very aggressive decks come out in like the first few games of the finals.
Okay, excellent. Glenn?
I wouldn't be surprised if both players pick their most aggressive deck in the first game.
Okay, I mean, to be fair, getting that first win will add confidence to the player and themselves and make it a little bit easier.
It just gives you a barrier. It's so much easier.
Definitely.
Yeah, in the first round when I lost my first game against Jag, I was cacking myself, thinking I'm going to get nilled again here. Because you just know if you lose one game, you think, oh, one mistake here and I'm gone.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot.
It can tilt you really hard.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
still tilting Glenn now that 0-4, and that's how long's that been?
It's a good few months that now.
I mean, to be honest, I think you should just change your name in game to that 4-0, and everyone will know who you are.
Don't give Merchant ideas.
Oh, of course I will.
Oh, dude, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I mean,
You have no idea how many times my fingers hovered over the button to change Freeb's name to Freeb in game. Just for a day, I'd change it back afterward just to absolutely shit him up for a day.
that would be so
And I know he's
beautiful.
probably in the chat right now, so he's probably daring me to not do it. But
I mean, quickly looking at the poll again. Wolf is
somebody's already mentioned My Little Pony fan.
Yes! that was hilarious.
No, I'm just laughing because it sounds hilarious. I've got no idea what that is. Please explain.
Somebody else can tell the My Little Pony fan story.
There was someone. His username was pretending to be a mod.
Okay.
So Merchant decided to change his name to My Little Pony fan.
I think he's actually lost it now, though.
Oh no!
I think he lost that account, so he had to make a new one.
That does suck.
good.
I'm hoping you found that new account and changed that as well to My Little Pony Fan 2.
I did not. I allowed him to keep his name.
Damn it. That's he's not abusing his power enough. That's what I've come to the conclusion of. So we are just looking quickly at the polls. Wolf is way out in front now with those 10 votes there. Crick and Glenn both with 5. YX, sorry about that burp, I've had quite a lot of energy drink. YX is unfortunately taken up to the rear with 3, but as we've said so many times, the only thing the poll does is a preemptive vote, obviously, on who people will think will win. It doesn't determine the tournament in any way. It really doesn't determine how that's going to go, and it's going to be a close one. We've all said this, and I think everyone would agree on that. Really quickly, if there are any questions in the chat, we are coming up to the last.
Freeves, don't you dare touch my name, Merchant.
I believe we are ending. When did we think we were going to be ending this Was it 9:30 or 10:30 or 10? We decided on in the end. I think because Ty wants to come in, so I think 10:30 is probably a good shout. If there are any questions, as I do say, guys, shove them in the chat. Is there any subjects anyone wants to bring up at this point?
I would have some balance questions, but I'm not sure if Merchant is allowed to answer them.
Well, yeah, you can always
I'll
ask.
answer any questions I can. Do feel free to ask.
So, with the remake of Ogre Brood, Grief decks will lose a very important part of their deck structure.
Mm-hmm.
Are there plans to fill that slot up with something? Or will Ogre Brood still have its place in Grief decks?
Ogre Brute will not lower base attack any longer.
I figured.
Will you still be
So
able
basically,
to?
I personally think grief decks, griefing's still a strategy. If you want to play Linz and you want to Karam and stuff, you can rush that and you can make grief decks out of it.
Yep.
But you're not going to have this slot 1 auto win button, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And that's not something we want to give back. So,
Will you still be able to knock someone down to 1 base attack? Obviously not for
of
turn 1,
course.
but
Yeah, there's loads of ways. You could do chapter 1 if you want. Like if you go Mimic, Alimora, Sane, Geeka, Karam, you can nuke any base attack somebody gains. But there's a lot of ways you'll be able to knock base attack down. Not slot 1 unless I'm.
Yeah. I think that's the only
unless you want
major
to tank
problem.
like Treyas Darth and take 25 damage, but no, you're not going to be able to slot 1 base attack.
I think that's a right call because it's a very strange game mechanic that.
Good. I don't mind saying what we're basically planning on putting Ogre Brute to at the moment. I think it's going to be a 6/8, and its effect will be exhaust your rival, so you can actually snipe them with an exhaust.
I like
That's
that.
really good.
That could be ridiculously powerful.
Depends, but if you miss it, it's going to do nothing. Is the point?
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a question coming in from chat from your end here. So you have a choice, Merchant. Gnome, Child Legend, or Farming Expansion?
I just ban him.
Okay, I can do that now. That's absolutely fine. I mean, it would be pretty cool to see more expansions based around skills in the game. Is there any plans for that sort of thing?
I don't know whether expansion is the right term. I think there will of course be expansions when we add new actual skills to the game. So we are planning some of those at the moment, but in terms of card content, I mean, it's really one of those things where if somebody says they'd particularly like to see something and we agree, chances are we'll probably make a card out of it.
Excellent.
So that's how we always basically intend to do our cards, and that's something that we're pretty committed to.
That does sound really, really awesome. It sounds like a really good idea of going. Will you ever maybe implement polling, obviously like old school do, in terms of voting on those expansions, or not voting on the expansions? Sorry, on updates.
Probably not in the same way that old school do it. I mean, I like what they do. I do think it's flawed, and I think it's actually led to some mistakes because of essentially I honestly think is peer pressure. Like, great example, sailing. Like, there's no way that shouldn't have passed, and it seems like everybody regrets voting no now.
Exactly. It can be affected by streamers as well, and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that I'd rather keep conversational. Like, of course, if we say something and everybody goes fuck off, basically, then we're not going to do it. But I am dedicated to discussing things with everyone, but I'd rather keep it conversational than a formalized process.
Oh, that's understandable. That's totally understandable. A quick question here from Anatomize, or one of those.
Anatomize.
That's the one.
Anatomize.
And that's why I'm dyslexic. He was wondering if it's ever going to be possible to make someone 0 attack, or is it always going to stick to 1? Is there going to be a card that comes out?
Minimum will always be 1.
Minimum will always be 1. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That would be kind of OP. It would be kind of OP. I mean, it would be quite interesting to see, obviously, if it did go to 0. It would break the game. The only way out of that would probably be a weapon. A weapon would take you out of that, technically, but yeah, obviously it would break the game. I saw a very interesting diamond card idea when cards effect changed first and second position with your rival. So it actually switched the cards around on your rival's your rival's playing board. So the second card would then become first slot, first card would then become second slot. That's also from Anatomize. What would your feeling be on that for introducing a card like that into the game? Would that be game breaking? Probably not, but would that affect the game too much?
I think that is something to definitely consider for the future. I think it's not necessarily game breaking. There'd have to be because naturally the person who got changed to second wouldn't receive the extra card, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It would have to be something that we'd have to design quite carefully.
I think
it's something that we could definitely look at for the future.
Excellent. I think what he's saying is actually the position of the cards placed. So if you had, say, a KGP in the first and then Ogre Brute in the second, that would switch for Ogre Brute first to KGP second played, I believe is what he's going for here.
Yeah.
Which is
I think it's something that we could definitely look at for the future. Like, I don't see why not.
Excellent. Just moving on quickly to the Twitch community and stuff. How have you been finding it? Seeing all of these streamers come pretty much out of the woodwork and really take this game to heart.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it. I love the fact that I can turn on my PC at like 5 PM on a Sunday, and there's people playing the game I work on, and I can go chat to them and stuff. Like I was playing Sasha, who's in the chat as your Simpatico earlier. I was chatting to play them on stream. Like I just absolutely love doing that. It's just phenomenal to see people dedicating their time to doing that, basically.
Definitely, I think it's brilliant as well because the game itself, as a streamer myself, I do find I don't have the best PC in the world. I've got an i3, I've got a mini tower. I can still stream at pretty good quality, and still have a load of stuff open. And it really, I can have the stream open, Discord open, my chat client open, Spotify open, Skype open, and it's such an easy game to stream, I think, as well. And people aren't always asking questions. If people are coming into the stream, what I've noticed with the chat itself is it's not always what does this card do, what does that card do. It's more of your thoughts on the game itself rather than just asking general questions about what the person is doing in the game, which I think is really, really good because the community itself is become very not enclosed, but it's become so
tightly knit.
Yes, exactly, tightly knit, and new players who are coming in are getting very, very quickly connected to that community, and I think the Discord has helped that obviously as well. I
have a game-related question.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Are there any plans on expanding the tribal ideas with demons and goblins, like making more tribal-specific cards to create archetypes
is entirely based around tribal play.
Ooh.
Oh, damn!
That's pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
That is epic.
It's gonna be really cool.
One thing that I did notice on the Q&As was that you are all a big fan of pirates. How much more pirates will we be seeing? That's the question.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be more pirates in the future. Like, there aren't any planned for right now. Actually, well, there's some sailors. There's not any pirates though. Okay. But there's no more batches of pirate cards planned for now. But it's definitely something that if we feel something's missing, we'd love to put more pirates in.
That's awesome. That sounds really, really cool.
So that'll be good.
Really quick update, guys. We were going to be ending the stream at around 10:30. I believe it'd probably be a better idea at this point, probably to end at 15:15 for the simple reason it gives Merchant time then to get ready for his casting, because he will be casting for casting all of the games, so it would be good for him to get a break. Plus the fact I think we've been talking so much and it's starting to dry up a little bit, not in terms of what we're talking about, but it is starting to move a little bit away from the tournament, and maybe that could be kept for a separate stream. Which me and Glenn are planning to do Q&As, planning to do podcasts at some point. So maybe it'd be a good idea to leave it about 15:15, give ourselves another 25 minutes. Have you thought about a card effect such as swapping the next player card on each side? Oh, so do you mean?
So yeah, this is something that we prototyped. It's broken basically because you just do it and then put like Virago next and they just die pretty much.
I suppose the issue would be as well if it was a legend specific card that would.
Yeah. No, that doesn't matter so much because we already have things like Lexicus and stuff that can add legend specific cards. But no, it's more the fact that it's just broken. Like you just place and then place like KBD and it just kills them.
When you in the early stages of the game, wasn't that there was a designated slot where you could put a card on your opponent's? Was it 4th slot or something?
No, so I don't believe there was ever a designated slot. I might be wrong, but I don't think there was. I think it was more like there were effects that did that.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, can we get any teasers about the new legend in terms of which haven't been released yet, or do you want to just explain the new legend? Actually, it's probably a better way of going about it.
Yeah, sure. So the new legend is going to be a guy called Morvran Iorwerth. For anybody who doesn't play RS3, which is myself included, so I know the explanation is pretty useful. He is a Slayer Master. He is a guy who dual wields pistol crossbows, and he looks completely awesome.
Yeah, I saw a picture. How does he reload?
With difficulty.
I think he must use his chin to sort of, edge them in somehow.
it's not too easy. However, yeah, so he's pretty awesome. He's designed with Slayer from RuneScape in mind, and the fact that we want to get tribal decks into the game, so that is something that we saw as a perfect opportunity. So a lot of his cards are Slayer tasks. So it might say, like, if you've killed 3 demons this chapter, this effect happens. Like, so there's a lot of cool stuff like that. He's based a lot around theming his decks pretty strongly. It's going to be pretty interesting. So
Excellent. I mean, it would be really interesting to see how many heroes are introduced into the game. Do you have a rough number for where you want to stop, or is it just as and when?
at the end of the year, I would like to see 8 heroes in the game.
Okay, that's a pretty cool.
I think we'd be fairly happy with that for a while.
Definitely. I mean, to be honest, as you add more heroes, I suppose that then does put more pressure on your team to just have to create a lot more cards very quickly, and it puts a lot more workload on you as a team, I suppose. Do you want to maybe take us through your the team itself and tell us for anyone out there who's budding to work within games, maybe just a little bit of advice and how your team is structured and how they
Sure. So I guess advice. Maybe I might need some questions to go off on that because obviously that's a pretty wide topic.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But, I've worked both on the development side as a QA analyst, and now obviously I work in community management. But yeah, the thing is, just go for it. I pretty much applied, and I said, look, I'm in a university degree, but I can do this, this, and this. This is what I want to do. And then basically you'll get a chance to go and prove it. And as long as you're passionate and you show that you're willing to learn, you'll get a chance. So you just absolutely have to go for it. I know that getting into games and stuff can be very daunting as somebody who spent years of their life trying to do it. But you'll get it. Just keep going for it. Don't lose heart, basically. And it's very easy to at times, but you just have to keep going.
Definitely, that's really, really good advice. I mean, if anyone does have any questions on that specifically, do shove them in the chat, and we can post them to.
If anyone any questions on anything, go ahead. You can choose as an AMA if you want. Just ask me whatever you want.
So this is Tyflicky here. Finally popped into the chat.
Hello, my man.
First off, Merchant, thanks so much for doing this with us. This is fantastic.
No, thank you for having me. It was very nice to be invited on.
Did we talk about, because I wasn't here for the entire conversation, the future of Chronicle as potential esport material?
We briefly touched upon it, yeah. I'm always happy to answer questions on that.
Because, one of the things that I came from was the StarCraft scene, and so watching a lot of that.
It's funny you say that. My first ever sort of gaming job, in a way, was StarCraft 2. I used to be on Dignitas for StarCraft 2 doing coverage.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic, yeah. So I did a weekly casts and community tournaments with that. So that's kind of how I got into the esports scene, and I enjoy watching stuff, and Chronicle seems like a fantastic way to enter this esports and just explore how viable is it. Have you kept up at all with this tournament and seen how it's gone?
Absolutely. The whole esports thing, I could go on for ages about it, but I think the number one defining thing to say is that obviously this ties closest of all to my job, so it's pretty good to be able to comment on it. It's my number one priority.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I will see a competitive game made of Chronicle. It's basically the way.
Talking about competitive stuff, are there any concrete plans on implementing an observer mode or the option to observe friends?
I would say concrete yes, plans no. As in, we are going to do it. It is a matter of when we have the time to do it.
Yeah, in a closed beta as it is right now, I imagine that's not on the top of the priority list. And what we've been able to do is broadcast streams and cast from those, and it's worked out fairly decently. Some of the screen share has been finicky, but it's worked out overall. But
yeah, it's something that it's not even a maybe in the future if we have time. It's when we have time to do it, that is happening.
Oh, that's fantastic. Would it now be something along the lines of Hearthstone, where you're able to see one view, or is it going to be more along the lines of StarCraft, where you can see both people's hands?
If I have anything to do with
forth?
it will be, and I will, because I will literally complain until they do it. It will be more among the StarCraft /Dota style observers.
Right.
Excellent. Really quickly, just touching on the esports side of things, how do you envision it happening in terms of, people are obviously budding to be involved in these tournaments, both on the casting side as well as the casting on their own channels if there's observer modes for these tournaments, as well as playing these tournaments. How do you envision it fitting into the rest of esports in terms of, obviously recently RuneScape itself with the Deadman Mode tournament was, esports made. Do you see the community of the esports community taking it in stride, and more people who maybe weren't playing the game to watch the game would come and really support it?
Absolutely. I mean, I certainly hope so. I think we do have an incredibly deep strategic CCG on our hands. And yeah, I really think that, the reaction whenever we put it in front of competitive players is so positive that I would certainly hope that people would come out and support it. I mean, that's not something that obviously I can guarantee because it is a it's a goal rather than a plan.
Sorry, that question wasn't good.
I certainly think so. No, it's fine. I certainly think people would come out and support it. I like to think so anyway.
Excellent.
And I think we were talking about it the other day, how there is such a strategic aspect to this. Because, I mean, Hearthstone can get a little RNG, and it's like, well, that was kind of up in the air the whole time. Whereas this, you're able to see people's thoughts, you're seeing plans. It's a lot more exciting, I think, personally, to see the way these people put down, just lay out the hand, and how their rival is trying to preemptively think through this, and where's that weapon going to be? How do we take that down? I think it's a fantastic opportunity.
I mean, I really think that, I think we're in the state where we've got something that's absolutely phenomenal for it. Like, we do have an exceptional game in terms of competitive gameplay, so I'm extremely excited to see where we can go with it.
Excellent.
I don't know if you got a chance to see some of the matches yesterday, but yesterday's 4 games were fantastic. It was really exciting to watch every single one of those games.
So many moments to take away from it. So many.
It's fantastic, even when I stream casually and stuff, it happens, and it's just moments happen that it's just incredible. And when you think about, when I get the image in my head of 15,000 people watching that in a tournament, I'm like, yeah, that sounds all right. Let's do that. So that's pretty much my plan.
Awesome. I mean, it's just a really, really quick plea from me. Really, it's not really a question. It's more of a, hopefully we will get this. A wise old man legend. I mean, anyone who plays old school knows that the history, well, and obviously the live game itself, the history behind this character and the rumors of his power would make for some awesome cards.
I think what you got to look at here is, Wise Old Man is in as a diamond card for Ariane.
Yes.
We were like, he's got to be in, he's got to be powerful and stuff. However, I think the thing that you have to look at when it comes to stuff like that is, as RuneScape players and stuff, it's very easy to get bogged down in what we know, when in actuality you have to think, somebody who's never played RuneScape, they come in, you've got to look at recognizability for the characters.
Okay.
And so personally, I don't think we'd see Wise Old Man as a legend, but I certainly think we would see, well, we do see him as a diamond card.
Okay, that's fair play. I mean, there's another question in the chat from your end here. Have you thought about chain damage, working a bit like Venasculus health transfer, but with damage to all your creatures?
There are cards that damage all your creatures, I believe.
I'm not sure what he means, but oh no, that's two separate.
There's
two separate
Banshee.
questions? Yeah, I was.
There's Banshee. There's Cerberus is going to do it. There are cards that damage your creature. Grizzly Bear. My boy Grizzly Bear does it.
I mean, maybe
Grizzly Bear. To be fair, Grizzly Bear has actually turned into a reasonable card in Dungeoneering.
That's actually
He's
true.
not
He's not
horrendously
that
bad.
bad in Dungeoneering.
I mean, maybe changing the question up slightly. Do you see cards that are going to maybe build damage? Say one card would affect the next card in slot, which would then affect a big creature, rather than just one card, dealing damage to your next creature. It could build through 3 or 4 cards.
I mean, I think that's where I think that's where our very combo focused gameplay comes in. I think that stuff happens anyway. So I think it's more about putting in cards that we can see people utilize like that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions in the chat? That's a question. If Ty, I mean, obviously you did join a second ago. Is there anything else you'd like to sort of jump in with it?
Did you guys talk about the way that the game is being balanced as in reference to nerfing cards and letting people figure out strategy? Has that been brought up yet?
Yeah. So yeah, we discussed. There's like a group of us that balance the game. I'm one of them. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it is to let people explore and people slowly realize and figure out things for themselves. But we also do a lot of data-driven decision making, so it's very obvious when something is flat out wrong.
Yeah.
That is a very good point.
Cool.
I mean, it's
one of the really interesting things was in the closed beta, nobody called out Watchtower Guard for being OP. And then we looked at all the data, and like every chapter that had Watchtower Guard played in it had like an 84% win rate.
Wow.
Wow.
That's actually really surprising to hear, because I mean, I play a lot of Raps myself.
I don't think I used it.
Seriously though, yeah, nobody caught onto it, but we managed to catch it.
I mean,
like honestly, it was insane. Like it had such, and that is not a small sample size either. Like Watchtower Guard was absolutely wrecking people.
I bet, yeah. I mean, so just quickly touching on what you're saying there about the statistics of wins via certain cards that weren't expected. Have cards changed? Obviously, cards have changed because of the statistics and have been nerfed and buffed, etc., etc. How much does that affect a nerf or a buff? Is that the one of the sole reasons for nerfing or buffing, as well as obviously players, saying on Reddit, saying wherever, that this card needs to be nerfed? Take us through the exact process of choosing to nerf cards, basically.
Well, I think one of the things that's important to remember is that there's nothing essentially wrong with the card being strong.
No.
Like, any card game ever is always going to have cards that are the best. Like, you look at Magic, you look at Lightning Bolt, you look at Hearthstone, and you look at, like, Knife Juggler. Like, Knife Juggler is an excellent card. Like, there are always going to be cards, not Doctor Boom is some of the worst card design I've ever seen, but still, anyway. There's always going to be cards that are inherently stable cards, and that's fine. Like, cards are going to be good, some cards are going to be bad. That is just going to happen. However, what we've got to do is we really have to look at like how it fits into the flavor of the game, how it goes with it, and then we move on to the data. I mean, at the end of the day, if we go, yeah, this is crazy good, but we like this is fun, it's probably going to stay in some form or another. But if we go, we're not sure about this, and then we look at the data and we talk to people and we see what they think, and then it's backed up by like, holy shit, this has an 80% win rate. Okay, maybe we should break this down a little bit. Because a lot of people don't actually realize how like deep we can look into that data. We can literally see combinations of card chapter by chapter and actually see which patterns win the most.
Oh wow!
I've got one question about the Ogre Brute. Obviously, a lot of people have been posting about Ogre Brute and how it just ruins games for them. Does the data back up the fact that it's overpowered, or I don't know, what does the data say about
Not as much as people would think.
Yeah, I didn't think so, because in the tournament,
it's not actually
Ogre
that good.
Brute has been played around.
It's not actually that good. Like, people would just hate it because it's annoying and it's not fun. And if something is really unfun, we're going to change it.
Yes.
I mean, it's strong, don't get me wrong. Ogre Brute is very, very powerful. But, like, yeah, like, statistically, it's not actually as bad as people would imagine. But the fact that, sort of sentiment-wise, and just the fact it's shit. Like, we're going to change it. It's not fun. Like, at the end of the day, we're making... Well, there's no point. Yeah, there's no point in mincing my words. Like, it's not fun. It's a pain in the fucking ass. So we're gonna change it.
Excellent. I mean, really quick thing I've just thought of really. To do with obviously there are more and more Jagex games coming out. Obviously, we've got Idol coming out, which looks to be very, very cool indeed. How do you see Chronicle?
Idol's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I might be playing a little bit of that myself. Hopefully, I was
very fortunate to be one of the first people in the company who had got to have a go with Idol, and it's really fun. Like, Idol games aren't really my kind of thing, but like it's really good. It's really fun. It's really nicely made. Those guys are awesome.
Awesome, good to really, really good to hear. I mean, Jagex have come up with some very, very awesome games. Most of their games have been really, really good and haven't disappointed. How do you see Chronicle itself fitting into obviously RuneFest? We have seen Chronicle at RuneFest before. We have seen it at Games Blast before. Would you say that there is going to be events for Chronicle itself, obviously as the player base grows, or will it just be fitting into the Jagex run events?
By no means. I thoroughly intend on there being Chronicle only events. Whether that is hosted by us or at things like Insomnia and stuff, there will be Chronicle events outside of RuneFest.
That would be absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. And I think the just a quick comment on the community itself from what I've experienced of it. It's very, very interesting how there hasn't been a huge amount of controversy at all in terms of in the tournament itself. The rivalries have only been friendly, which is really, really lovely to see, and it really is a testament to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a card game and it's a competitive card game. Like the salt will flow, it absolutely will. But I like to think that at the moment there's quite a there's quite a positive competitive scene, which is fantastic.
And with it being such a small-ish community, especially last season, is that what they're called? Seasons? What are these short 14 days things?
Oh, why not? I don't know. Seasons. Let's go for that.
Okay. So when we have these short 14-day seasons, we had 15 people in gold. I mean, you're gonna know these people. You're gonna play against them multiple times.
Yeah.
If you get salty, if you get angry, I mean, the only people you're playing against are these folks. So it's not like you have another avenue to get out of there. So I mean, it almost forces you to be convenient and nice to everyone.
I think it's I'm really impressed with how the community's going so far.
Excellent. I would say if there's no more questions in chat, I can't see any off the top of my head. It's probably a good idea to just to end the stream there. Give Merchant a bit of time, obviously, to get prepared, and Glenn to get prepared for his matches, as well as Bundy to get prepared for his casting itself. I think it's probably a good time to close down the stream. So if anyone wants to leave sort of last comments and
I have one last question from the chat from Freeb.
Oh, okay.
I think I just answered it.
Oh, then never mind.
Yes, Virago and Kale will see changes in the near future.
Excellent. So yeah,
isn't Kale like the
that's the
author
guy
of
who accused me of
Fusion?
spewing so much bullshit.
yeah, I was just reading that comment, actually, to be fair.
It's like, I just love that. It's like I read that and I was like, why is he spewing so much bullshit? Virago would be no. I was like, nobody's asked me about Virago. Yeah, of course. Like, come on.
How can you spew bullshit about something that hasn't been mentioned?
I don't know.
Anyway, guys, yes. So closing comments from everyone in the stream. We'll start from the top of the Discord list and just go down. So Bundy, if you would like to start.
I hope I'll see you guys at the live cast, which will start in 50 minutes. And I'll be preparing.
And obviously advertisement for streams and social networks from everyone as well. So if you want to check your stream out there, Bundy.
Well, I stream sometimes. I have a very dank stream with many memes. Like, so many memes.
There is a lot of memes.
So it's not everybody's cup of tea, so I won't really go around advertising it. But if you like dank memes and cancer music, you should probably check out my stream.
That is, I'm literally going to follow you right now.
He is
based on that.
beautiful streamer. His name is Bundy.
I've watched his stream at work. It is fantastic.
He is a beautiful man. His Twitch name is Bundy1337. If you click on his name and drop that follow, guys, always very much appreciated. Glenn, you're up.
I just want to wish good luck to everyone else in the semi-finals tonight, except Wolf. And please don't 3-0 me.
Oh, please do. I think we're all hoping for that. To be fair, if he doesn't do that, then I'm not gonna want to talk to him ever again. So, and interjection I see has popped in. Do you want to quickly just talk about the tournament and just give everyone times and stuff? If that's cool.
He's AFK.
He's not here.
He's AFK. Okay. Merchant, that means you're up, man.
I would like to say, can I get a smork in the chat? And other than that, I'd like to say, Vape Nation, stay in school, don't do drugs. Also, there's going to be some sick games tonight. You should watch those two.
You can find him at twitch.tv/rsmerchant, if I am correct.
Yeah, and also on YouTube at youtube.com/c/merchant TV, I believe.
Excellent.
It's a mouthful.
Shut up.
Unfortunately, nobody has ever said that. No woman has ever said that comment to me. I know it's a bit off topic. That's just me being a little bit salty. So for me, these podcasts, me and Glenn and Bundy is also involved. We'll be doing pretty much, and Ty Flicky will be a regular host as well. We're looking at doing maybe weekly podcasts. We haven't fully decided yet what's happening with that, but that will be happening on this channel and also on YouTube. So yeah, who is next? What's the about there? That was a moment. Okay. Spencer is in here. If he wants to just quickly say hi and then bye. Unfortunately, he's probably also AFK. Ty Flicky, you're finishing us off here, man.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us so much. I'm Ty Flicky 42 on Twitch. I stream occasionally. No need to follow, but just wanted to say thanks for popping in and enjoying this tournament. Hopefully, we'll see more action, and I'm really looking forward to today's matches.
Excellent, good to hear. Quick thank you to everyone who has joined me today. Mob Merchant, Bundy, Glenn, Spencer briefly, who hasn't actually said anything, Interjections, and Ty Flicky as well. I have been Picosco. It has been awesome having you down here. We will be ending stream, and the tournament starts in
45 minutes.
47 minutes exactly. So thank you for coming down. Been awesome having you here. Step off the bus.
That's on Interjection videos on
yes,
Twitch.
I will link that.
I'm
I'll
sure
be
you'll be hosting.
I was going to say I'll be hosting this straight after the stream. Thank you for coming down. Do drop that follow to the channel if you do enjoy. Also drop a follow to everyone else who has been in here. Thank you very much indeed, and good night. And we are all muted.